Mia, Zoe, Priya, and Ayla were more than best friends. They were like family. They had spent countless nights dreaming of traveling the world together, and finally, after years of planning, the day had arrived. Their first destination was London. Excitement filled the air as they stepped off the plane, each of them smiling from ear to ear. It felt surreal to be here together, turning their dreams into reality. As they rode into the city, they pointed out everything they recognized: the famous red buses, the historical buildings, and the iconic black taxis. They checked into a small, cozy hotel in the heart of the city, feeling like they had entered a different world. London was alive with energy and history, and they were ready to soak up every bit of it. On their first day, they visited Buckingham Palace, where they watched the changing of the guard. The girls tried to imitate the guard's serious expressions, failing miserably as they burst into laughter. They spent hours wandering around Hyde Park, where they rented a small boat on the Serpentine Lake. Priya took charge of rowing, but her lack of experience quickly became apparent as she sent them in circles. The others couldn't stop laughing, their giggles echoing across the water. Their day was filled with one incredible sight after another. They visited the British Museum, where they marveled at ancient artifacts from around the world, snapping pictures and reading every plaque. By the time they left, their feet were sore, but their hearts were full. They stopped at a quaint little cafe to rest and chat about their day. But their peaceful moment was interrupted when Mia realized her passport was missing. Her heart dropped, and panic took over. Losing her passport on the first day of their trip was a nightmare she hadn't prepared for. Her friends immediately jumped into action, calming her down and helping her search through her bags. They retraced their steps, checking every place they had visited that day. Eventually, they returned to the cafe, where the friendly barista recognized them and handed Mia her passport with a reassuring smile. They laughed with relief, grateful for each other and the kindness of strangers. With their spirits restored, they ended their day over tea and pastries, ready for the next adventure. Their next stop was Paris, a city they had all dreamed about. The moment they arrived, they were enchanted by the elegance of the city. They strolled along the Seine River, watching artists paint and listening to musicians play. The city felt magical, like something out of a storybook. The Eiffel Tower loomed in the distance, and they could hardly contain their excitement as they got closer. They took dozens of photos, laughing as they posed in front of the tower, trying different angles and silly expressions. One day, they decided to visit a famous bakery hidden in one of the city's winding streets. They had heard it was the best place for pastries in Paris, and they couldn't wait to try it. Armed with a map and a few basic French phrases, they set off through the charming, narrow streets. But Paris was like a maze, and they quickly found themselves lost. They tried asking for directions, but the language barrier made things difficult. They stayed positive, laughing at their situation, even as they wandered aimlessly. Just as they were starting to feel defeated, they met an elderly artist sitting by the river. He saw their confusion and offered to help. He guided them through the streets, telling them stories about the city, his favorite places to paint, and the changes he'd seen over the years. His kindness and wisdom touched them, making them feel connected to the heart of Paris. Finally, they reached the bakery and treated themselves to delicious croissants and eclairs. As they savored each bite, they realized that sometimes getting lost led to the best memories. Switzerland brought a whole new kind of adventure. The friends were enchanted by the snow-capped mountains and charming villages. They arrived in a small town near the Swiss Alps, where everything looked like a winter wonderland. The air was crisp, and they were eager to try skiing for the first time. They rented equipment, bundled up in warm clothes, and headed to the beginner slopes with a mix of excitement and nerves. The first time they tried skiing, it was a hilarious disaster. Priya accidentally went down the slope backward. Zoe lost one of her poles, and Ayla ended up rolling into a pile of snow. Mia, who was the most nervous, finally gave it a go, but fell right away. They spent most of the day falling, laughing, and encouraging each other to keep trying. Slowly, they started to get the hang of it, and by the end of the day, they managed to ski down a small slope together, cheering and hugging each other at the bottom. That evening, they gathered around a fireplace in a cozy cabin, sipping hot chocolate and reflecting on their day. They talked about their dreams, fears, and what this trip meant to each of them. They felt closer than ever, grateful for the friendship that had carried them through every twist and turn. Switzerland had been challenging but unforgettable, and they left feeling proud of their bravery. Italy was their next destination, a country filled with art, history, and incredible food. They arrived in Rome and were immediately captivated by the ancient ruins and beautiful architecture. They visited the Colosseum, imagining the stories that each stone held. Every corner of the city seemed to hold a piece of history, and they were in awe of the beauty surrounding them. One of their favorite experiences was a cooking class where they learned to make authentic Italian pasta and pizza. The chef was a lively Italian woman who guided them through each step with patience and humor. They kneaded dough, mixed sauces, and added toppings, laughing as they tried to twirl the pasta dough. When they finally tasted their creations, they were surprised by how delicious it was. Each bite was a reminder of the joy they found in Italy. Exploring Italy brought its own set of challenges. They visited a bustling market in Florence, where they wanted to buy souvenirs but struggled to communicate with the shop owner, who spoke only Italian. After some funny attempts with hand gestures and a translating app, they managed to buy what they wanted, feeling accomplished and grateful for the patience of the locals. Italy had been full of laughter, good food, and memories that they would carry with them forever. Their final destination was Japan, a country that felt both peaceful and exciting. In Tokyo, they were fascinated by the high-rise buildings, neon lights, and bustling crowds. They tried sushi, explored temples, and admired the beauty of Japanese gardens. Each experience felt like a new discovery, and they were eager to learn about the traditions and customs of the culture. One day they visited a temple where they met a group of school children who showed them how to make origami. The friends watched carefully, folding paper into delicate shapes and learning about the art of origami from the children. The kids taught them a few Japanese words, laughing as they practiced the new sounds. The experience left them with a deep appreciation for Japanese culture, and they felt a connection to the people they met along the way. Japan presented its own set of challenges, like navigating the subway system and understanding local customs. But each challenge was a chance to learn, and they embraced every moment with open hearts. The people they met were kind and helpful, making them feel welcome and at home in a foreign land. Japan became a place of discovery, a reminder of the beauty and kindness that could be found in every corner of the world. As their journey came to an end, the friends looked back on all they had experienced. Each destination had brought laughter, challenges, and unforgettable memories. They had learned more about themselves, finding courage, patience, and a stronger bond with each other. They returned home with full hearts and endless stories, grateful for the adventure that had brought them closer and filled their lives with joy. Their trip had been everything they dreamed of and more, a journey of friendship, bravery, and discovery. They knew that no matter where life took them, they would always carry the memories of this adventure with them. And as they hugged each other goodbye at the airport, they promised to keep exploring the world together, one adventure at a time.